All information contained in this podcast is general in nature and does not consider your individual circumstances. You should consider the appropriateness of this information with regards to your individual objectives, financial situation, and needs. Welcome to Sharing More Than the Sheets, a podcast to help you and your partner make better financial and lifestyle decisions so that you can both focus on the things that you love. I'm your host, Michael Khouri, financial planner, green thumb, husband, and just dad. This segment is called Michael's Magic Moment. It's my opportunity to play a little snippet from one of our previous episodes, which resonated with our listeners, that I received feedback from, or I felt really had an impact on some people's lives. Hope you enjoy. Over the years, I'll hear it regularly from other people where they'll tell me they invested in something and they got lucky, or they have a friend that did something and they got lucky. And that luck meant that they made a bit of money, or they were to develop, or they were able to generate some pretty decent returns on their investments. And there's two ways of looking at luck. And today we go back to an episode. It's actually episode 88, coincidentally enough, where I talk about the role of luck in investing. And there's two parts to it. One of them is the fact that, yes, some people literally just get lucky. Like they would make actually a terrible decision and it ends up being a fantastic decision. And there are some types of people that make decisions that are calculated, which seem okay, and there's a very low chance of failure and it doesn't actually work out. So of course no one has a crystal ball, and that's why investing is called investing. If things were guaranteed, it probably would have a different name to it. And the idea is to make sure that you're putting yourself in a position to be successful, to make the right decisions. And in this episode, I really go into those areas, and I emphasize the importance of just acknowledging that if someone gets lucky, it's because they put themselves in a position to get lucky, that they made decisions. They stepped outside their comfort zone. Usually they seek advice. They speak to people. You'd be very surprised. Most people that you know, most people that I've met that have made great financial decisions didn't just get lucky. It didn't just fall into their lap. Yes, that probably happened a quarter of the time. But the other 3/4, I'd probably say more than 3/4 of the time, it was just due to great decision making, speaking to experts, whether it's a financial advisor or someone else that is an expert in that field. They seeked that person's advice. They made a decision or a set of decisions that were informed decisions, and the decisions paid off. So I hope you take something out of this episode, and I hope you enjoy it. It's a great one, and it's something that's, for me as a financial advisor, I come across this topic a lot when I'm talking to my clients. And we'll just see, what your take is on luck after listening to it. The first thing I just want to say is those that got lucky in investing put themselves in a position to get lucky. So what I just mean by that is those that, for example, put money in the right investment, that made the right amount of money at the right time, would not have been in that position if they just sat on the sideline and did nothing. That's very, very important, and it's very important to remind yourself of that. Now, I know it's very easy to get discouraged if you've had bad luck with investing in the past, or you've had some bad luck in certain money decisions. But it is really important to understand and to learn from those experiences, and to just understand that if you are going to get lucky, or if you are going to make the right decisions, you need to make a decision so that it's the right one, if that makes any sense at all. The other part about it as well is when you do make decisions, whether it's investing, for example, is to make calculated decisions, and to make decisions that have been thought through, whether it's you've talked to your financial advisor about it, or your partner, or you've just thought about it a few times. Now, I'm a very impulsive person, and I'll make rash decisions, and I'm aware of that. So before I make any big decisions, I do force myself to sleep on it, or at least to have a think about it, or to talk to someone about it, because I just know how I am. For yourself, it might be a similar situation, or it might be even just looking at figures and doing research to increase your chances of winning, essentially, or making the right decision. Now, as we know, there are no guarantees, especially with investing. Some of the best investors I know do get it wrong many times. Some of the best fund managers do make mistakes, and nobody is perfect. But if you can make calculated decisions, you can move yourself more towards the possibility of making a good decision compared to a bad one. The third thing is to prepare yourself for unluck. So prepare for unluckiness. And that could be in a few different ways. One of them could be having an emergency fund and having savings in place for a rainy day. And I've talked about this in many of my previous episodes. Another thing could be having insurance, whether it's car insurance, whether it's life insurance. Having a plan B. And as I've said in the past, every plan A needs a plan B. And having something like that in place, yes, it does mean that you're paying for it. But in my opinion, you're better off having insurance and never needing it than not having insurance and needing it. The next thing I wanted to just make note of is not to use unluck as an excuse for poor performance. So I've seen many cases where somebody, for example, doesn't invest, they don't do anything with their savings, they don't even buy anything with their savings, they essentially do nothing, and they just are always on the sideline. And when they see those that have made it, and those that have either been successful or those that have invested and done it the right way, just to say, oh, they got lucky, or oh, I'm just an unlucky person, I'm never going to be able to do that. Because if Henry Ford says something along the lines of, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. And if you come in with a mentality of, hey, I can't do that, then you probably aren't. And if you come in with a mentality of, oh, that person just got lucky, yeah, they probably did, but there's also a chance that they didn't. And there's also a chance that they got lucky just because they put themselves in the right position at the right time. So this is a point that for me I've seen many times over the years, and there are many different quotes on this. There's many graphics. We've all seen the memes of an iceberg, and it says success, and at the top it shows the things that people see, and the bottom part are the things that people don't see. And success is honestly, it's a combination of so many different things. And if you talk to anybody that's successful, yes, they'll agree that luck was part of it, but they'll also tell you that majority was not luck at all. The last point I want to make is that you can't control luck. So that's something I really want to make clear, that you can't control the future. Yes, you can put things in place. Yes, you can make calculated decisions, as I said. Yes, you can have a plan B to prepare for the unluck, but you can't control it. And if something happens in your life, not to essentially get down about it, if it's, obviously it's easier said than done, but not to essentially use it as an excuse to never try again. And also not to make luck the main focus of your success, because if you do that, in a way, you're almost setting yourself up for failure, because you're relying on something that may not actually eventuate. So you can't control luck. If you are unlucky, and yes, some people are definitely more unlucky than others. And when I just say that, I mean like they just have bad runs of different situations. But if you are in that position to just think about these points I've mentioned, we've all had unlucky things happen to us. We've all gotten lucky in one way or another. But again, not that I'm promoting gambling in any way, shape or form, but those that win the lotto only won because they were in it. And those that do well in investing only do well because they invested in the first place. And those that have a successful business only do well because they started a business. And those that do well financially only do well because they either have a financial advisor, they have the right people around them, they're educated, or they just talk to the right people or research the right information, or that they have access to the right information to empower them and to encourage them to make better decisions. So again, some get lucky, some get unlucky. In your life, there are many different things that are going to come in your way. And by understanding luck and also understanding that it's not the main way that you are going to be successful in life, especially financially, you will be able to make smarter decisions and more calculated decisions to hopefully be ready when that time of luck strikes. Thanks for joining us on Sharing More Than the Sheets. Please make sure you subscribe to be updated with future episode releases, and feel free to share this episode with any friends or family that you think it might benefit. Please visit us at sharingmorethanthesheets.com.au to submit questions or requests for future podcast topics. These podcasts have been brought to you by Better Financial Planning Australia. To book a 15-minute phone chat, visit betterfinancialplanning.com.au.